Israel's parliament is debating some controversial legislation dealing with an issue dividing Israeli society. Israel's High Court ruled last year that ultra-Orthodox Jews should no longer be exempt from mandatory military service. That has fueled a fierce debate over politics and religion and sparked protests across the country. For more on this story, CBC senior reporter Tom Perry joins us from Jerusalem. Tom, good to have you. I know you've been following this story very, very closely. Walk us through what has been happening so far. You were out at one of the protests last night. What did you see? What were people telling you?
That's right. We were out at a protest near Tel Aviv last night. We drove out there, and I should say it took us a long time to get there because these ultra-Orthodox protesters had blocked a major highway and a very busy intersection near Tel Aviv. Now, we got there and we saw a big crowd of ultra-Orthodox men and boys. Some were singing, some were dancing, some were blocking cars, sitting in front of cars, standing in front of cars, holding up signs saying that they would not join the Israeli military. So it started off as a fairly peaceful, upbeat kind of protest. But eventually you had all these people in their cars who had to get where they were going. And there were confrontations between people getting out of their cars, starting to shout at these protesters, trying to get them out of the way. Eventually, we saw the police move in. We saw some officers dragging some of the protesters away, trying to reopen the roads. And again, this was just the latest protest. There have been many like this in Israel regarding this issue of ultra-Orthodox members, ultra-Orthodox Israelis having to serve in the IDF. Now, traditionally, going back to 1948, ultra-Orthodox people have not been required to serve in the Israeli military. That all changed last year when Israel's High Court said that had to change, that they should be able to serve. Now, we spoke to some people last night at this protest. We spoke to a protester and to someone stuck in their car. Just to outline the division that this is causing in Israeli society, here's some of what they had to say.
None of us are going to go to the army. We're hell-bent. There's no way in the world we're going to go to the army.
I mean, it's unfair, but I can't do anything about it. It's been like that since the country was founded back in 1948,
So that was two of the voices we heard last night. One protester saying they're not going to the army, and one person who's just stuck in traffic, who did serve in the army, by the way, saying that, it's not fair, but that's the way it is right now in Israel. So the debate right now in the Knesset is what to do about that after this court decision, especially after the war in Gaza and the attacks of October 7th, this feeling that Israel needs a larger military and that these ultra-Orthodox Israelis are going to have to be part of that.
Tom, talk to us a little bit more about the debate over the legislation, where things stand now. So there's going to be a lot of that back and forth, and expected that there would be perhaps more protests over this until there is some level of resolution. But even the outcome of that could then spark further outcry.
That's right. Benjamin Netanyahu was in the Knesset yesterday. He was speaking, saying that his government's bill that would require some ultra-Orthodox to serve. He said you're going to see thousands more of these ultra-Orthodox members joining the IDF. I just spoke this morning to an opposition politician who says that's not the case at all. The opposition says that the government's bill is full of loopholes, that it won't result in enough of these ultra-Orthodox members joining the IDF. And they say the reason for that is that Benjamin Netanyahu needs the support of ultra-Orthodox parties in the Knesset to support his government.
Tom, thank you so much for this. We'll be following it closely. CBC's Tom Perry for us in Jerusalem.